Live Storm Team weather alert.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. A tornado warning has been issued for Grant County, southeastern Grant County, until 7:45. At 7:01, a confirmed tornado was located near Hancock. That's just to the northeast of Morris. That storm lifting off towards the north at 25 miles per hour. We'll put this into motion. You can see pretty powerful storm making its way off towards the north and repeating once again. Tornado warning in effect for southeastern Grant County until 7:45. At 7:01. Confirmed tornado located north of Hancock, moving north at 25. That was just to the northeast of Morris a little bit ago. If you live in these areas, you're going to want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. That's the lowest floor of your home. The basement is best, but otherwise the lowest floor of your home, interior room or closet. If you've got time to grab pillows and blankets on your way into the storm shelter, a good idea to do that as well, or even bicycle helmets if you've got those handy. Also, off toward the north, severe thunderstorm warning. That continues in this area for western Otter Tail County, northwestern Grant County, and Wilkin County, also until 7:45 for the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. These storms moving to the north at 35 miles per hour. If you're in these areas, you'll want to take cover in these areas. They continue to move off towards the north and off towards the west and southwest. A tornado warning continues for Marshall County for this particular storm, and our Eric Whitehill is monitoring that storm. He does have a wall cloud with that particular storm as it makes its way off towards the north and northeast. Over the next little while, that moving north at 15 miles per hour, right now 9 miles southwest of the Britain area. We will continue to monitor things as we head through the rest of the evening. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for eastern portions of North Dakota, western Minnesota until 1 a.m. Tornado watch continues for portions of northeastern South Dakota for the rest of the evening. We will continue to monitor things as we head through the rest of the evening, and we'll let you know as things are warranted. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This is a Valley News Live Storm Team weather alert.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. Tornado warning continues for Grant County until 7:45 tonight for this particular storm moving off towards the north at 25 miles per hour. It did earlier have a tornado on the ground with it that has since lifted. However, it could drop down another tornado at any time. If you live in these areas, you're going to want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings off towards the north, including Cass, Clay, Richland, Wilkin counties, and off towards the east. That severe thunderstorm warning. That includes portions of Otter Tail and Wilkin counties. Both storms are capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. And off towards the southwest, still monitoring this storm. A tornado warning continues for this storm. However, it's showing signs of weakening. That will continue in effect until 7:30 this evening. So an active weather night continues across the region. We will continue to update you as necessary. And until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a...
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. Numerous warnings to tell you about. The first one, a tornado warning continues for Grant County through 7:45. At 7:25, not too long ago, fire department reporting a funnel cloud. That is about 7:25, moving up from the south. That was near the Hoffman area, 4 miles south-southwest of Hoffman. So this storm continues to be tornado warned through 7:45. If you live in these areas, you'll want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. Off towards the north, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in this area. That includes Cass, Clay, Richland, and Wilkin counties, as well as parts of Otter Tail County. These both warnings continue until 7:45 this evening for these storms as they make their way off towards the north at around 35 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and some quarter-sized hail is possible with these storms. Off towards the southwest, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This in effect for Ransom and Sargent counties, southeastern Ransom and Sargent County for this particular storm making its way off towards the northeast at 25 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail also possible with this particular storm. Other strong and severe storms off to our south will continue to make their way off towards the north. So a very active time of it as we continue through the evening hours. We'll continue to see more warnings. Right now, mostly severe thunderstorm warnings, but reiterating once again that tornado warning continues for Grant County until 7:45 this evening, and at a 7:25, a funnel cloud was reported with that storm 4 miles south-southwest of the Hoffman area. We will continue to monitor things as we head through the rest of the evening. Storm chaser Eric Whitehill is out on these storms, and he is on the storm making its way through Ransom and Sargent County, and we'll get some updates from him as we head through the rest of the evening. Until then, let's head it back to regular programming.
This has been a Valley Storm Team Weather Alert.
Good evening. This will be another quick weather update. A tornado warning has been issued for our far southern counties here for portions of west central Roberts County, northeastern Dade County, eastern Marshall County until 8:30 p.m. for a line of storms capable of not only some spin-ups and tornadoes, but also extensive straight line wind damage. They're moving off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Other storms over in Ransom and Sargent County, these continue to lift off towards the north and northeast. Severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Ransom and Sargent County, southeastern Ransom and Sargent County. These storms moving off towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail possible with this storm. A brief funnel reported with these storms at 7:42, 1 mile southwest of Havana. Other storms off toward the east. These storms in parts of Lakes Country. This severe thunderstorm warning including southwestern Otter Tail and Grant County for storms moving off towards the north at 50 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail possible with this storm. And a couple of other storms off towards the north. Some strong storms making their way close to the Fargo-Moorhead area. These storms moving off towards the north at 40 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail possible with these storms, including Clay County, northwestern Otter Tail County, northern Wilkin County, and western Becker County. As we zoom on out to the entire region, a tremendous amount of storms out there. Also some strong storms there in impacting parts of Stutzman County up towards the Eddy and Foster County. Those storms moving off towards the northeast. Those could intensify. In addition to the risks of tornadoes, some large hail and some damaging winds out there, we've also got a tremendous amount of lightning coming out of these storms as they continue to lift off towards the north at 40 to 55 miles per hour. We also have a severe thunderstorm watch that continues for eastern portions of North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. That all the way through 1 a.m. So we've got several hours left for these this severe thunderstorm watch. And again, more of those storms off towards the west, lifting up towards the Devil's Lake area, and the storms off towards the south. We do have a tornado watch, a couple of tornado watches in effect for parts of our far southern counties as we head through the rest of this evening as well. So reiterating, numerous warnings out there, a lot of lightning out there, and the severe weather threat is going to continue as we head through much of the evening and even possibly into the early morning hours of your Wednesday. We will continue to update things as necessary. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a Valley News Storm Team Weather Alert.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. Numerous warnings across the region, and they will continue as we head through the rest of the evening. We'll get right to it. The first one, a tornado warning that continues for far northeastern portions of South Dakota, and that's for the storm near the Sisseton area. This particular storm right here, as we zoom on in, this is a powerful storm, a line of storms moving off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour, in addition to the possibility of some small spin-ups along that line. Extensive straight line wind damage is possible with this storm as it makes its way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Other severe thunderstorms off towards the northwest of that storm impacting southeastern portions of Ransom County as well as Sargent County and making its way off towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds, as well as some quarter-sized hail possible with this particular storm making its way off towards the northeast. Numerous other severe thunderstorms off towards the east. These include parts of Lakes Country. This particular storm in effect for this warning in effect for Grant County, as well as southwestern Otter Tail County for this storm moving off towards the north at 55 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds, and some quarter-sized hail possible with that storm. And then off towards the north, closer to the Fargo-Moorhead area, this particular storm, this warning in effect for Clay County, northwestern Otter Tail County, northern Wilkin County, and western Becker County till 8:45 tonight for the possibility of some 60 mile per hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. Zooming on out to the entire region, we also have other strong storms in far northern Minnesota. Those are not severe. Other strong storms from the Devil's Lake Basin down through Jamestown and Ellendale, also not severe at this time. However, a severe thunderstorm watch does continue for much of the region through 1 a.m. And in addition to the threat for the isolated tornado across the far south and otherwise the chance for some large hail and damaging winds, a tremendous amount of lightning coming out of these storms, and we will continue to see some strong, at times severe thunderstorms as we head through the rest of the evening. We will continue to update you as warranted. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a Valley News Storm Team Weather Alert.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. Numerous warnings continue across the area, including a tornado warning in far northeastern portions of South Dakota. That in effect for just a few more minutes until 8:15 this evening for that storm approaching the Sisseton area. And that storm again moving off towards the north and northeast at around 50 miles per hour. In addition to the threat for tornadoes, extensive straight line wind damage is possible with that particular line of storms. And a brand new severe thunderstorm watch in effect for far southeastern North Dakota. That includes parts of Wilkin, Ransom, Southern Cass, Richland County, and Sargent counties. That until 9 p.m. for the possibility of winds gusts at least 60 miles per hour and some quarter-sized hail across the entire region. Other severe storms in portions of Minnesota. Strong storms up in northern Minnesota and forming between Fargo and Grand Forks and off towards the west from Devil's Lake down through Jamestown and Ellendale. Tornado watch well off towards the south. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for much of the region through 1 a.m. We will continue to see some strong and severe storms as we head through this evening, and we will continue to update you as necessary. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a Valley News Live.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. A brand new tornado warning has been issued. This in effect for north central Ransom counties as well as southwestern Cass County, southeastern Barnes County until 8:45. At 8:14, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles north of Lisbon. That's about 29 miles southeast of Valley City, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. In addition to the threat of a tornado, quarter-size hail also possible with this storm as it makes its way off towards the northeast. You can see the spin on the radar, and there may be a brief spin up with this particular storm making its way off towards the northeast, again at 45 miles per hour. If you live in these areas, you're going to want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. A basement is best, if not the lowest floor of your home, interior room or closet. If you've got time to grab pillows and blankets or even a bicycle helmet to help protect your head, a good idea to do that as well. To reiterate one more time, a tornado warning has been issued for north central Ransom County as well as southwestern Cass County, southeastern Barnes County until 8:45 this evening. At 8:14, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles north of Lisbon, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Take your tornado precautions in these areas as soon as possible. We will continue to update things as we head through the rest of this evening. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a Valley News Live Storm Team Weather Alert.
Good evening. This will be a quick weather update. Numerous warnings across the area, including a tornado warning that is in effect for portions of the area, including north central Ransom County, southwestern Cass County, southeastern Barnes County. This warning goes until 8:45 this evening. That is for this particular storm right there, making its way off towards the northeast. A little bit ago at 8:14, severe storm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles north of Lisbon. That's about 29 miles southeast of Valley City, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. I'll put this into motion for you. You can see the whole storm rotating as it moves off towards the north and the northeast, and again making that direction at 45 miles per hour. In addition to the threat of a tornado, there's also some quarter-sized hail possible with this storm. If you live in this area, you're going to want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. That's a basement is best. Otherwise, the lowest floor of your home, an interior room or closet. If you've got time to grab pillows and blankets to protect yourself with, a good idea to do that as well. Or if you got a bicycle helmet handy, also a good idea to do that on your way to your tornado shelter. In addition to that, numerous severe thunderstorm warnings across the region, including much of southeastern North Dakota and parts of Lakes Country and extreme northeastern portions of South Dakota. And these storms are racing off toward the east and the northeast anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour. The threats out of all of these storms, some quarter-size hail and some damaging winds of 60 miles per hour or even higher. Zooming on out to the entire region, other strong storms, non-severe, up across northern portions of Minnesota, also across far northeastern North Dakota, forming between Grand Forks and Fargo and off toward the west. Devil's Lake down through Jamestown and just north of the Ellendale area. And in addition to the risk of hail, damaging winds, and even an isolated tornado, a lot of lightning out there. We're going to put this into motion, a tremendous amount of lightning out there as we continue to make our way through the evening. We'll continue to see that risk for additional severe thunderstorms. And it looks like we got another brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for parts of the area, and that includes parts of Grant, Otter Tail, and Wilkin counties for, once again, 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. We will continue to monitor things as we head through the rest of the evening, and we'll let you know as warranted as things get out of hand. Until then, let's return it to regular programming.
This has been a Valley News Live Storm Team Weather. Valley News Live Storm Team Weather Alert.
This will be a continued weather update for much of the region. We are seeing numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, and including that, a tornado warning that is in effect for a few more minutes for Barnes, Cass, and Ransom County. For this particular storm, off towards the west, making its way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. In addition to the threat of a tornado, quarter-size hail is also possible with this particular storm. And again, moving off towards the northeast at a very quick clip at 55 miles per hour. If you live in these areas, you're going to want to take your tornado precautions as soon as possible. Lowest floor of your home, interior room or closet. If you've got time to grab pillows and blankets, you want to do that as well. If you've got a bicycle helmet handy, that is another good option as you head into your tornado shelters. In addition to that, numerous severe thunderstorms making their way through southeastern North Dakota and west central Minnesota. Some powerful storms just to the southwest of the Fargo-Moorhead area. These storms racing off towards the north and the northeast at 45 to 55 miles per hour. A tremendous line of storms making its way off towards the Fargo-Moorhead area. And as we take a look at not only the threat for some damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, there's also the risk for some quarter-sized hail and also a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms as they make their way off towards the north and northeast, and again at 45 to 55 miles per hour. Other storms off toward the south and southeast through southeastern portion of North Dakota, the south and west central portions of Minnesota. Storm chaser Eric Whitehill is down near the Hankinson area. Do we have Eric on the line?
You do, Robert.
There you go. What are we seeing down in the Hankinson area? Looks like you're improving conditions down there.
Yeah, it was really quite windy, and we even had some pea to nickel-sized hail just a few minutes ago. Looks like the strongest of the winds. We could hear the wind probably just off to our north, but we still had winds in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour, even where we were at here. We were getting pelted with tree branches that were, small tree branches that were falling down. So this is definitely a line that you still want to take serious and make sure that you're definitely away from windows, because even hail at 50, 60 miles an hour, that definitely can still break some windows.
Yep. All right. Thanks for your report, Eric. I wanted to pass along to people we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. If we can get back to the radar here, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. This in effect until 9:30 p.m. This does include the Fargo-Moorhead area. This severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County, southwestern Norman County, Cass County, southern Trail County, east central Barnes County, and northwestern Richland counties. This is a severe thunderstorm in effect until 9:30. At 8:43, you can see that line of storms. It extends from near Valley City to Davenport, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour, racing off towards the northeast. We're going to put this into motion. And there it is, approaching the Fargo-Moorhead area as we speak from the west and the southwest. If we can pull up tower cam, if we can go ahead and look at that, we're looking off towards the southwest. Yeah, getting some angry skies making its way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, these storms moving off towards the northeast at a quick clip, 55 miles per hour. The threat out of this particular line of storms is 60 mile per hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. A closer look at these storms as they make their way towards the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, these are not the only storms in town, but these are the only ones. This is the newest warning making its way towards the Fargo-Moorhead area. Going to take a look at some hail sizes in here, and we do have some decent-sized hails in a few locations with this particular storm. And we're going to get some sizes of that hail. And the size of hail, we're indicating some hail as large as 1.7 inches. I think they're going to be a little bit smaller than that, but some sizable hail, certainly up to 1 inch size hail or quarter size hail possible with this storm. We're going to look at the spin along the leading edge of the storm, and we do have a few locations of spin along the leading edge of this storm. And on a line of storms like this, it is not rare to see an occasional spin up of a weak tornado along the leading edge of these storms. So we don't have any tornado warnings, but a brief tornado certainly can't be ruled out. But the main threat will be significant straight-line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, as well as that risk for some quarter-sized hail as these storms continue to make their way off toward the east and the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Other warnings further down the line, we're going to go through those. This particular warning just to the south of the Fargo-Moorhead area, this warning in effect until 9 p.m. for western Wilkin, eastern Ransom, southern Cass, Richland, and northeastern Sargent counties. And that also for the possibility of some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-sized hail as it continues to make its way off towards the east and northeast at 50 miles per hour. Other storms through west central portions of Minnesota. These also quite strong as they make their way off towards the north and northeast at 45 to 50 miles per hour. These warnings in effect until 9:15 for portions of western Otter Tail County, northern Grant County, and Wilkin County. Again, the possibility for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. These storms are moving north at 40 miles per hour. Back to the storms making their way into the Fargo-Moorhead area. We'll put that into motion once again. These are quickly moving on in. If you have your car outside, you want to get it on the garage in the next few minutes as these storms are racing on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. A closer look where you see those darker colors and even the pinks just south of the Walcott area. That's where you've got the strongest of the storms as they make their way off towards the north and northeast. And that's going to be approaching the Fargo-Moorhead area here in the next 20 to 30 minutes. And again, the main threats out of these storms is quarter-sized hail, winds possibly in excess of 60 miles per hour. And again, these are going to be on top of the Fargo-Moorhead area here in just a little bit. As we can take a look at tower cam once again, the sky getting angrier and angrier off towards the southwest. And if you look off towards the left just a little bit there, I'm going to move that around just a little bit. That may be the beginnings of the rain shaft and or the hail that's falling out of this particular storm as it makes its way off towards the east and the northeast. And again, one of the biggest threats out of any particular thunderstorm is lightning, and there is a lot of lightning coming out of these storms. Don't go outside and try and take a look at these storms. You're going to see a lot of lightning as these storms roll on through your area. If you do get some hail, if you do get some wind damage, wait until the storm has passed your area, then snap some pictures and let us know what you're seeing in your particular area. If you're seeing anything from your area from the safety of your home, certainly pass that on to us through valleynewslive.com, Valley News Live Facebook page, Valley News Live Twitter. And we'll pass that along to folks around the area to let them know that what we're seeing as these lines of storm make their way on through the area. Taking the lightning back off there so you can see the storms, again, racing off towards the east and the northeast, going to make its way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area here in the next few minutes. And again, some cores of stronger storms just to the south of the Walcott area, just to the southwest of the Castleton area, some of the stronger areas of this particular storm. And this warning, again, goes until 9:30. It does include the Fargo-Moorhead area. It also includes West Fargo. It includes the Dilworth area. It includes the Glendon area. And it's making its way right on into the Fargo-Moorhead area as we speak. Taking a look at the hail once again across the region, and we do have some areas of hail all along the lines as they continue to make their way off towards the east and the northeast. So the possibility is there for not only the hail, but also the strong and gusty winds. And we continue to monitor reports around the area and not seeing any new reports of any damage in our particular area. But we did have over in Wilkin County at 8:40 p.m., so about 10 minutes ago, Wilkin County, 2 miles east of Campbell, we had a report of some $half sized hail. It's 1.25 inch diameter hail, so some sizable hail coming out of some of these storms over parts of the area. I'm going to show you once again. We'll put this into motion. Storms making their way into the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, if your car is outside and you want to protect it from potential hail, you want to bring it on indoors as soon as possible. Let's take a look at the tower cam once again. These storms rolling on in. And there they are. We've got some tough storms making their way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. We'll have some gusty winds. We're going to see some hail. This is going to be a significant storm as it makes its way on through the area. If you've got some loose items outside, maybe some lawn chairs and things of that on your front porch, out in the backyard, you may want to secure those as well, or even a kiddie pool, you want to secure those. As we head through the next few minutes, we're going to see some strong and gusty winds over the next 30 to 40 minutes here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, in addition to that threat for some hail. And again, in addition to the threat of hail and gusty winds, a lot of lightning with these storms, and they continue to make their way off towards the northeast, towards the Fargo-Moorhead area through Lakes Country. And we've got some other stronger storms making its way through Lakes Country down to just east of the Jamestown area, down towards the Valley City area. Other strong storms across northern Minnesota as well. These are non-severe. And some strong storms also forming between Fargo and Grand Forks up over towards the Crookston area, down towards the Foston area. And those storms will continue to lift off towards the north. But the strongest storms by far are these storms making their way into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Going to take a look at the hail once again. Looks like the hail sizes have come down just a bit, but still some sizable hail possible with these storms as they make their way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour and making their way into the Fargo-Moorhead area as we speak. Not seeing any additional damage reports. I'm not seeing any additional hail reports or wind reports. Are you hearing anything, Justin? All right, thank you. Justin Fanfarelli here in the studio, and Eric Whitehill still out and about making his way back up I-29 following these storms as they make their way off towards the north and the northeast. So we're going to get a close look. It looks like another line of storms trying to form just ahead of this one. We'll put this into motion. You can see some very strong storms making their way into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Going to stop that loop, and the leading edge just now making its way towards West Fargo, and it'll approach the downtown Fargo area. Horace, you're seeing some strong storms in your location. A lot of lightning out there, especially further into the line off towards the west and the southwest. Hail sizes in this particular area. There are some some hail falling over parts of this area. Let's get some hail size about 1 inch, so it's probably a bit smaller than that. So maybe some dime to nickel-sized hail falling out of that particular area off towards the west. Also, some dime to nickel-sized hail possible there, and the hail at times could be up to as large as a quarter size. If there's any spin in the atmosphere in our area, there is not. We're checking the shear in our area, and there is some off towards the west and the southwest, so a couple of areas where there is a bit of spin in the atmosphere, and that will continue to lift off to the northeast as these storms continue to lift off towards the northeast. So from Tower City through Castleton over towards the Kindred area, seeing a tough go of it in terms of these storms. And taking a look at the wind, some very strong winds. Yeah, that just lining up just to the southwest of the Fargo-Moorhead area. We're going to put that into motion. And there it is, where you see that lighter green line from Oxbow through the Horace area and points off towards the west and northwest. That's likely some very strong and gusty winds as we take a look at that again, moving off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. We can take a look at Tower Cam again. It looks like we are starting to see some rain and maybe some hail off towards the right-hand side of the screen as it makes it so. That's likely a hail shaft as you look right down I-94 there. That's some hail falling over West Fargo. We just had a power hit here at the station. There's going to be a lot of lightning with these storms and a lot of wind. You could lose power with these storms as they make their way off towards the east and the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming out. That encompasses much of the storms over in portions of west central Minnesota. That severe thunderstorm warning just issued. And that is for numerous counties. That's for southern Clay, Otter Tail County, northern Grant, Wilkin County, southwestern Becker, southeastern Cass, and in northeastern Richland County. That's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and some penny-sized hail. So some smaller hail with those storms and some larger hail possible with these storms as they make their way towards the Fargo-Moorhead area. I'm going to show you the winds again. Some strong and gusty winds making their way towards the Fargo-Moorhead area. Just that brighter green line that you see just to the southwest of the Fargo-Moorhead area, making its way off towards the north. That's where the strongest the wind is going to be. And again, you could see winds gusting as high as 50 to 60 and possibly even stronger than that type of wind as it makes its way off towards the north and northeast. Taking a look at Tower Cam once again, we've got the leading edge of that gust front. We're starting to see that off towards the west and southwest, and we'll continue to watch that as it makes its way on into the Fargo area. That's the leading edge of the stronger winds. Where you see that little roll cloud, that little shelf cloud developing, that's the leading edge of the stronger winds. So as that passes your area, that's when you're going to start to see those strong and gusty winds make their way into your neighborhood. And again, some of those winds could be gusting over 60 miles per hour, and a lot of lightning out there as well. Going back to the radar, that line of storms again, making its way off towards the north and northeast, and there's an update on that, and we'll continue to loop this and making its way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Is there any way we can split the screen and show both the Tower Cam and the radar? No? Okay. We'll continue to see this storm make its way on towards the northeast, making its way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area as we speak. And I'm going to go back to the velocities once again, and you can see, and again, I'm talking about that line That light green, or the light green line there, that's where the strongest of winds is going to be with that particular line as it makes its way off towards the northeast. We're talking about that line right there, the light green line that curves from north of Oxbow through the Wild Rice area and making its way into the southern portions of the metro. That's where the strongest of winds are going to be as they make their way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. So back to the radar, these storms moving off towards the northeast at a pretty good clip. And if we could go back to tower cam, I just saw some power flashes off towards the west. If we take a look at tower cams, these stronger winds make their way on into the area. I just saw some transformers go in look like West Fargo. So as we continue to watch, there's some more off towards the west, some more power flashes as more power lines are getting knocked down with the strong winds making their way into West Fargo. So we're going to keep it on tower cam right now and continue to monitor this. Strong storms, severe storms making their way through the Fargo-Moorhead area. And it looks like it is potentially causing some damage over portions of West Fargo, as I've seen some power line flashes with these strong winds making their way on into the area. And these winds could be in excess of 60 miles per hour. In addition to the threat of the strong and damaging winds, you've got the threat for potentially some quarter-sized hail and a tremendous amount of lightning, as you can see on our tower cam. Not seeing any new power flashes out there, but I have seen a few of those, and we'll continue to monitor that. Let's go back to the radar, and once again, these storms are making their way on into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Dangerous storms, damaging storms possible as these severe storms continue to make their way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour right on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. Storm report, we're getting reports of 3 to 4 inch branches being knocked down in West Fargo. That's as of just a couple of minutes ago. So already some wind damage being reported over parts of the area as these storms continue to race off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. A lot of lightning out there. We're going to pause this and show you this storm continues to make its way on into the region. And again, the strongest of the winds is where you see that light green line. That's where the strongest winds are located. It's along this line right here, just west of Rustad, off towards just south of the West Fargo area, making its way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Power cam. We just had another power hit here at the station, so we're getting some surges of power. I'm not sure if that's from the winds or from the lightning, or it could be a combination of both. But looking off towards the west, a tremendous amount of lightning, and here comes the gust front. And as that cloud, it's a roll cloud, as that rolls along, and just behind this roll cloud as it moves on through. We're going to stay on the tower cam as it makes its way on through, as the storm makes its way on through the area, and you'll watch the winds increase. I haven't seen any power flashes. See a few over. I suspect there's probably some power out in parts of West Fargo with some of these stronger winds making their way on through the region. And here comes the roll cloud, and as it makes its way on through, you'll start to see the strong and gusty winds make their presence known on the tower. Things at once. You'll see that in the form of some trees blowing around, maybe seeing some tree damage. Southeastern North Dakota and west central next, and these storms and already West Fargo. By some of this wind. I'm not seeing any of those. I'm seeing a lot of lightning out there. It's typically one of the parts. And they're going to continue to eat. Those storms are marching right in at a lot of lightning. West Fargo. Hear the winds station, and it sounds like we're getting strong winds blowing here. We got here in the station. I would estimate 40 to 50, possibly even 60-mile-per-hour winds making its way right on as we speak. Tower cam right on, and very strong winds as far as making their we speak. Let's take a look at the hail radar here, and we do the area a bit in terms of reports on here, so it's probably than that. I suspect we are far South Fargo, South Moorhead area. Yeah, we're getting a tremendous amount of wind and rain here at the station, and I suspect many of you folks are as well, and continue to batten down the hatch. A powerful storm, but it's one that's going to make its way on through the area fairly quickly, and again, it is moving at 55 miles per hour. We'll put this on a loop, and you can see how quickly this has made its way on through, bowing right on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. And just a tremendous amount of rain. Are we seeing any hail outside? Can someone check and see if we're seeing any hail outside and let me know what size we got going on? Storms continue to make their way off towards the east and the northeast, 55 miles per hour. Going to quickly make their way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area, but they're going to last a good 20 to 30 minutes as they make their way on through the region. And these are not only the only storms, these stretch all the way down over towards the Fergus Falls area. So a tremendous line of storms lifting off towards the north and northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. Elsewhere across the region, non-severe storms. I wanted to quickly note that non-severe storms across northern Minnesota, Devil's Lake, and up towards the Grand Forks area. The only severe storms along this line from Cass County down towards the Fergus Falls area. Tremendous line of storms, and we just lost power. I don't know if you can still hear me or not. I hope you can still hear me, but we just briefly lost power here at the station, and we continue to see a tremendous amount of rain, tremendous amount of wind here at the station as that continues to make its way off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, and I suspect some hail, and get reports again of some power outages in South Moorhead, and I suspect with the power hits we keep getting here at the station, I suspect there are more power outages across parts of the region. It sounds like some sizable hail falling here at the station. We're trying to get the size of that hail here for you, but it does sound like some sizable hail falling here at the station in South Fargo. We continue to see these storms race off towards the east and northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. And then again, these stretch all the way down towards the Fergus Falls area, even points to the east towards Alexandria. A tremendous amount of these storms making their way off toward the northeast. We can pull up the tower cam real quick. Not much to show you, but just to show you how heavy the rain is right now. You can hardly see from our tower cam because of the rain falling at such a good clip. Not seeing any hail here yet at the station, although it does sound like hail is hitting the roof. That may be just some very large raindrops making their way on off towards the ground. All right, back to the radar. That storm making its way through the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, moving off towards the north and northeast at 55 miles per hour. Will continue to impact the area, not only in the Cass County area, all the way towards the Valley City, through the Tower City area, West Fargo, Moorhead, and points off towards the south and southeast, just to the north of the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. It just moved through your region and down over towards the Fergus Falls area, just north of the Elbow Lake area, seeing a tremendous line of storms. You folks off towards the northeast, Detroit Lakes, Ada, Borup, Grand Forks, Foston, Crookston. Keep an eye on this storm. Mayville, as this line continues to make its way off towards the northeast. But as of right now, the toughest part of the storm, where you see the Bow Echo, the backwards C, making its way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area and points off towards the east and west. A lot of rain, a lot of wind, and potentially a lot of hail coming out of some of these storms. We'll take a look at the hail sizes with this, and it looks like the hail sizes have come up a bit with some of these storms as they continue to make their way off towards the northeast. Going to take a look at the spin inside some of these storms, and you see a long line of shear, and along the leading edge, that's probably indicative of some very strong winds. And again, they're making their way through the Fargo-Moorhead area and points off towards the south and southeast, all the way through the South Moorhead, all the way down towards the Manston area, approaching the Barnesville area here in the next little while. Another look at the radar here once again. We've got some strong and powerful storms making their way on through. I'll have to show you the lightning once again. A lot of lightning, potentially one of the most dangerous parts of the storm. More people killed by lightning than by tornadoes in any given year. And those storms continue to make their way off towards the north and northeast with a lot of lightning, a lot of wind, and a lot of hail. With a lot of rain also falling, some street flooding is also possible as these storms continue to make their way on through the region. Still seeing a lot of wind and a lot of hail out there on our tower cam. As we can go ahead and take a look at the tower cam. Yeah, we're seeing a lot. That's Eric Whitehill's feed, but we can take a look at the tower. There's the tower cam. And yeah, the rain has let up just a bit, but still seeing a lot of rain out there. A lot of wind out there, and again, a tremendous amount of lightning. Don't go out there and try and take a look at these storms as they approach your area. This is not the time to do it. Again, if you're hearing of any damage, if you're seeing any damage from the safety of your home, certainly pass that along so we can pass that along to folks around the area. An update to these severe thunderstorm warning making its way through the Fargo-Moorhead area. The National Weather Service has upped the potential for winds to up to 70 miles per hour. So some very strong winds making its way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, we're going to show you those strong winds making their way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. Up to 70 mile per hour winds possible with these storms as they continue to race off towards the northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. There can certainly be brief spin-ups along the leading edge of these storms, but we have not seen any of those. We have not heard any reports of those. So some tremendous storms continue from just east of Valley City, right down I-94, through the Fargo-Moorhead area, southeast along I-94, towards the Fergus Falls area. A lot of stormy weather continues to make its way off towards the north and the northeast. Have not seen any additional reports of damage in our region. Have not seen any additional reports of power outages in our region. We will continue to watch these storms as they make their way off towards the east and northeast at 55 miles per hour. And again, winds possibly gusting 70 miles per hour or more with these storms as they continue to make their way through the Fargo-Moorhead area. The good news is they're quickly moving and lifting north and east of the Fargo-Moorhead area, probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. And off towards the south and southeast, those storms also moving rather quickly. Behind this line of storms, we're going to see quite a bit of rain. So again, flooding may become an issue with some of these storms as they continue to make their way off towards the north and northeast, particularly in the northern valley, where we're seeing the second round of storms right now through the Grand Forks area, in addition to what we saw this morning, and the third round of the storms making their way through the Fargo-Moorhead area. These lift off towards the north, so street flooding may become a big issue in parts of the northern valley especially. So for now, they're going to reiterate once again, the severe thunderstorm warning continues for the Fargo-Moorhead area. That goes all the way through the 9:30 hour. The severe thunderstorms off towards the southeast, which include parts of Becker, Clay, Grant, Otter Tail, Wilkin, Cass, and Richland counties. That continues until 10 o'clock this evening. Both warnings for the possibility of some nickel-sized hail and winds of 70 miles per hour. And they will continue to make their way off towards the northeast. I understand we have a video that we can take a look at. If we can go ahead and pull that up. Otherwise, where are we looking at?
32nd and 45th.
Okay, this is right here in Fargo, and that's the gust front. That's what we were looking at on our tower cam just a little bit ago. As that makes its way above your area, that's when you saw the strong and gusty winds. That's when the rain and the potential hail unleashes as well. So some very good video there. Thanks to whoever sent that in. I didn't see a courtesy on that, but thanks to folks who sent that in. a nice picture, a nice video there. We're also getting, according to the National Weather Service, we're getting quite a few reports of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds stretching all the way from Breckenridge to the North Dakota, South Dakota border and up towards the Fargo area. So a lot of tremendous winds out there will continue for the next little while as this storm system continues to lift off towards the north. So winds of 70 miles per hour becoming common with this squall line as it makes its way off towards the north and northeast. And again, this stretches all the way from just east of Valley City through the Fargo area, through the Fergus Falls area. If you folks up in the Detroit Lakes area and points off towards the north and east of this region, Detroit Lakes, up towards the Ada area, up towards Monoman, Fosston, Crookston, Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, you're going to see this line of storms continue to lift off towards the east and the northeast and affect your area, even as far east as over towards the Park Rapids area, the Bemidji area. If this line of storms stays together, you could see some powerful storms moving into your area later on. The storms should tend to weaken as they move off towards the east and northeast into northern Minnesota. However, we'll continue to monitor them just in case they do not weaken. So some powerful storms making their way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. And again, we've gotten reports of some power outages in South Moorhead, some tree branches down in west of Fargo, and also another new report 3 miles east-southeast of Breckenridge. Winds gusting estimated 70 miles per hour with 18-inch diameter trees have been blown down. So some trees down now being reported down near the Wahpeton-Breckenridge area with an estimated wind of 70 miles per hour. Rain is quieting down here at the station. It may not be quieting down in your particular area. We continue to watch this line of storms moving off towards the east and the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Winds of 70 miles per hour possible with these storms as they continue to make their way off towards the north and northeast. And I understand we have some more video from the Osgood area. If we can take a look at that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's the leading edge of your gust front as it makes its way on into the Osgood area, and it's not good when you see something like that rolling through your neighborhood. So some tremendous video there. We appreciate viewers sending in the videos and any of the photos that we've gotten as well. So thanks to folks sending in those videos and photos. It's nice to have those to help pass along to show folks what the upstream from this area are in store for as these storms continue to make their way off towards the east and northeast, and again at 55 miles per hour. So some very strong winds continue. Wind gusts to 70 miles per hour possible. If we can take a look at tower cam, still seeing a pretty good amount of rain here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, at least here around the station. It looks like the wind has significantly died down, at least for now, here at the station, and that's some good news. So some not long-lasting winds like we saw this morning across parts of the Northern Valley. So going back to the radar, strong and gusty winds, especially along the leading edge of these storms as they make their way off towards the east and the northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. In addition to the threat for some 70 mile per hour winds, we also have that threat for some hail in there. The hail size is coming down with some of these storms, with certainly some penny to nickel and maybe even quarter-size hail possible with some of the stronger cells as they make their way off towards the north and the northeast. Hail sizes, we'll go ahead and take a look at those. And again, we are seeing some hail in there and a few hail cores making their way on through the region. And they'll continue to lift off towards the north and northeast along with the showers and thunderstorms. If we take a look at Eric Whitehill's, no, never mind, we're losing his feed. I was going to say, let's take a look at Eric Whitehill's feed. At times seeing a lot of lightning on his feed as well. He's making his way up I-29. There's the lightning. He's making his way up I-29. So he's coming up on the backside of this particular line of storms. So he followed this in. He rode the storms out down in Hankinson and now riding those storms out as he makes his way off towards the north. And we'll put a locator on him. And there he is. He's located. He's making his way up I-29 and right now located, looks like down there, the Wahpeton-Breckenridge area. Yeah, he's just west of the Breckenridge area, making his way up I-29. So he's following the storms, and if he gets any damage reports, he's going to pass those along to me. Other than that, we're not seeing any additional. All right, we've also got apparently some flooding in Carrington. Wow, yeah, a lot of rain going on there. Thanks to John for sending that in. A lot of flooding going on in the Carrington area, some street flooding there. Also getting another damage report from near the Dakota Magic Casino. Some trees blown down into the area, down in the Hankinson area. So that's in extreme southeastern parts of North Dakota as those storms went through earlier this evening. So that's the newest report we're seeing is the some trees blown down in the area and unspecified damages at the Dakota Magic Casino. So some damage down in that region as well. These are some powerful storms. If you live out ahead of these storms, including all the way up as far north as Grand Forks, Crookston, East Grand Forks, the Ada area, the Borup area, the Detroit Lakes area, even as far north as Fosston, Bagley, Bemidji, Park Rapids, and anywhere in between, if these storms hold together, they will continue to race on off towards your area and give the possibility of tremendous winds and possibly even some hail. Also getting a report of some a stop sign bent over down in Richland County near the Christine area. So it takes a pretty good wind to knock over a stop sign or bend a stop sign. So some pretty good winds making their way on through the entire region. And as you saw in the Carrington area, also quite a bit of flooding possible with these storms as they make their way off towards the north. Wanted to zoom on out. Just wanted to let you folks know up in the Northern Valley, we're not ignoring you. Those storms not severe up in the Roseau and Baudette area, not severe. Grand Forks over towards the Crookston area and over towards Fosston, Devil's Lake. These are non-severe storms, and you could see some strong and severe storms in those areas. But at this time, across the Northern Valley, these storms are not severe. The only severe storms are along this line, making their way through Clay County, down through Cass County, Clay County, and down towards the Fergus Falls area, for the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour winds. And these winds have apparently caused some damage in parts of the area, including winds gusting as estimated 65 to 70 miles per hour, bringing down some trees over parts of near the Dakota Magic Casino. Some trees blown down in that area earlier this evening. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, we just got back in. It was about 15 minutes ago that the strong winds and the rain arrived in the Fargo area.
Yep.
We want to show you a little of that video. I was standing outside and watched it come in, and pretty dramatic, as all of a sudden we started to see those strong winds come up, and then all of a sudden you can see the rain there as it comes in, and there's some rattling going on, and what we have is a sign over in the corner of our lot there, and that's what's making the banging sound as the wind is whipping through there. But you can see as the wind picks up, we've got some strong winds there, and pretty soon you're going to see me use my tie here to wipe off the camera lens. But it's some nasty stuff that blew in. We listened to it for a few minutes. Christine and Dave Spofford and I were out there. You could hear it whistling through our tower, and boom, it all of a sudden showed up.
Yeah, it gets in and out in a hurry. And most of the strongest winds are along the leading edge of these storms. You're going to see the really strong winds. And again, if you were watching earlier on the tower cam, we saw as those strong winds were making their way through West Fargo, you saw some of those power flashes as some of those transformers started to go out. So yeah, some dramatic video right out there in the parking lot.
I'll let you continue to cover it here. We're going to go check on the damage over at the Dakota Magic Casino. So, okay?
All right, thanks. All right, so strong and powerful storms continue to make their way on off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Hail, I haven't seen a whole lot of hail reports. So the main threat for these storms looks to be transitioning to mainly just wind as these storms continue to make their way off towards the northeast with a smaller threat for some hail. So the primary threat is going to be the wind. The secondary threat is going to be the hail as it continues to make their way off towards the northeast. Numerous reports. Even Fergus Falls, we're getting some reports of winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. Fargo, a report of 60-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah, so some very strong winds making their way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area earlier. And you saw that, you heard that, as we saw in the video from Mike just a few minutes ago, and you probably saw in your neighborhood just a few minutes ago. So South Moorhead reports of some power outs there. Fergus Falls Airport now reporting a wind gust from 9:14, from about 7 minutes ago. Fergus Falls Airport reporting a wind gust, a measured wind gust of 67 miles per hour. So a lot of wind out there, and it'll continue to race off towards the northeast at a good clip, 55 miles per hour. That's about the only good news, is it doesn't last a tremendous amount of time in any one particular area. But there is a lot of rain falling out of these storms, and we may see flooding become an issue in some areas. We already saw that over in the Carrington area earlier this evening. We saw some street flooding in that area. And we do continue to have a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of the area through 1 a.m. And there it is in that blue box there. Tornado watches continue across the south and southeast. Those continue until 10 p.m. However, looks like most of the activity is moving out of those areas, and it looks like those will be allowed to expire at 10 o'clock. But the severe thunderstorm watch, that big blue box, that does continue until 1 a.m. So the severe threat around the area will likely continue until at least 1 a.m. Going to take that watch box back off there. I'm going to zoom back into the Fargo-Moorhead area. These storms continue to make their way off towards the northeast, making their way through the Fargo area. It looks like they've cleared Fargo, but they're still hanging on just a bit over in the Moorhead area. So we're going to hang on for just a couple more minutes. Another report of a wind gust, 64 miles per hour. This 3 northwest of Fargo, and that as of 9:07 as the gust front made its way on through. So the storms continue to make their way off towards the northeast. I understand we have another video of the Moorhead area. If we can take a look at that. And again, that's the gust front we're looking at on the tower cam, and it's pretty scary when you're standing right underneath it too. Those clouds fairly low to the ground as that gust front made its way off towards the east, and it's right along that leading edge. That's where you see the strong and gusty winds. Thanks to Ashley for sending that in. Some really nice video there. Some very loud thunder all of a sudden once again here in South Fargo, and that reminds me, I want to show you the lightning. A tremendous amount of lightning with these storms as they continue to make their way off towards the northeast. And lightning, one of the biggest threats out of the storms. And not only do you have that threat for a lot of lightning, but a lot of wind and potentially a little bit of hail as these storms make their way off towards the northeast, although it looks like the primary risk is going to be damaging winds. There is the brand new severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to look like include the Grand Forks area. We'll get the information on that. And again, this storm system racing off towards the north. And again, this is going to cover numerous counties once again. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Red Lake County, Northern Clay County, Norman County, Polk County, Southwest Pennington, Grand Forks, Northeast Cass, Trail, and Eastern Steele counties. All of those counties now under a severe thunderstorm warning for this line of storms until 10:30. This line of storms now moving north at 60 miles per hour. So they're moving forward at a tremendous clip. They're going to be making their way through this area in a quick amount of time. The threats along these storms, they've lowered the wind speeds from earlier that we had in the Fargo-Moorhead area from 70. This new warning, wind speeds capable of 60 mile per hour winds and some penny-sized hail as these storms continue to race off toward the north at 60 miles per hour. A lot of wind damage being reported over parts of the area, including some tree damage, some power outages in South Moorhead, some branches down over parts of the region, some tree damage down towards the Dakota Magic Casino, wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, 67 miles per hour over towards Fergus Falls. And the strong and gusty winds will continue to make their way on through the region as we head through the rest of the evening. Some strong and gusty winds. And we understand we have another video from the Fargo-Moorhead area. I think you take a look at that. There's Fargo. Yeah, there's the gust front once again. If you're right underneath it, it's, you know, it can be kind of exciting, but it's also kind of scary as this makes its way on through area. Thanks to Patrick for sending that in. Some good video there. And you can see the, it almost looks greenish to the right when he pans to the right there. That's indicative oftentimes of some hail falling out of a particular storm. So some good video there, again, of that gust front as it made its way on through, and the strongest winds. And I don't know if you could hear that thunder on my microphone, but it was, if you couldn't, it was mighty loud, and it's still rattling the building. So again, you've got some strong and gusty winds out there, some severe winds making their way north through the valley. You've got the chance for some small hail and lightning. Again, one of the biggest threats of any thunderstorm is lightning. And we continue to hear some very loud lightning here in the, actually we hear the thunder from the lightning. We don't hear the lightning. We hear the thunder being generated from some rather strong lightning here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. These storms continue to lift off towards the north. We're going to show you that lightning. It looks like the lightning may be decreasing a bit over time, but still a lot of lightning out there. making its way off toward the north. The newest of the warnings, and we're going to continue to go here for just a couple more minutes as these storms continue to make their way off toward the north. They pretty much cleared the Fargo-Moorhead area, and they're racing their way off toward the north, towards the Grand Forks area. So don't let your guard down up there. You folks probably still cleaning up from this morning's strong and gusty winds, gusting up to 70 miles per hour up in the Grand Forks area. And now you've got this next line of storms. The storms that you've got rolling through Grand Forks right now, those are not the storms that are warned. I wanted to point that out. You've got some storms making their way through the Grand Forks area, the East Grand Forks area, over towards Thief River Falls. Those are not the severe storms. The severe storms are the storms further to the south. It is for this line of storms that moved through the Fargo-Moorhead area and is making its way off towards the north and northeast. The strongest part of this line is probably going to be the eastern sides of this warning, over towards the Ada-Borup area and lifting off towards the north as well and northeast. And again, this line moving at 60 miles per hour. Getting some more storm reports. Estimated wind gusts of 70 miles per hour in downtown Fargo, and also some street flooding beginning in downtown Fargo. Power out also being reported in the Oxbow area. So numerous reports now, not only of some high winds, but also some street flooding in downtown Fargo. So you want to take care as you head out and about. And also a report of some power out in the Oxbow area, power out in South Moorhead and parts of South Moorhead, and branches down in parts of West Fargo, trees down over parts of the Wahpeton area, the Breckenridge area.